In today's video, we're going to be going over some fragrances that only really need one spray to last all day long. Now, do I really mean that you only need one spray? And the answer for a lot of these is yes. Really, one would be enough. Now, can you benefit with a few more? Sure. You might get a little bit more projection, and that might be the better idea for you. But this is just kind of to show that these are so strong that less really is more. And I've found personally that if you do over apply some of these, it can have a negative effect, more so in the fact that, for me anyways, it gets so overpowering for myself that it kind of makes me miserable. And really, that's the last thing you want. You're wearing a fragrance because you like it and you want to enjoy it and enjoy the experience. And, you know, if it's constantly assaulting your nose and giving you a headache because you sprayed way too much, that's not fun. So you want to try to avoid that with these, but we're going to go through these here today. We're going to talk about the performance, you know, the quality, how they smell, all of that stuff. We're going to start off with Rasasi Hawas Black. This is absolutely insanely strong. Now, you've probably heard of this one before. It is going to be essentially kind of a Nishane Hasavat / Creed Absolute Aventus interpretation. That's where this one sits in. So it's a familiar smell. Anything with that Aventus DNA is going to be something that you've kind of smelled before in some capacity or in some form, whether it's from the original or one of the many clones. This is, I guess, kind of Rasasi's take on an Aventus clone, but with a twist, implementing some Hasavat, characteristics, mainly being a sweeter pineapple and more of like an oak moss focus that wasn't dialed up as much in Creed Aventus. Now, Nishane Hasavat itself is very strong. I've made the mistake of over applying that one in summertime, and it's miserable. And really, it's going to be the same thing with this too. I mean, you don't need a lot. This is just a very strong, full-bodied scent with a lot of impact. So when you spray it and you smell it, it's right there. A lot of projection. It really jumps off your skin. It really stands out, and it's a heavy scent. So I would say, you know, when you first get this one and you're doing some testing, start off with a little bit less and then work your way up from there and dial it in accordingly. But I wouldn't go into your normal spray routine of 10 sprays or something crazy with this, because you really don't need it. It might be headache inducing or something, but just look at the color. You know, that's never a true indication because they can just add whatever dyes that they want. But in this instance, that color is a great representation of the scent and how strong it is. So definitely nothing to play around with. Hawas Black usually is going to be right around $40, $45, 100 ml bottle. Great price for a beast mode performer for probably the cooler weather. This next one from Dior, we're going with the Sauvage here. You could go for really just about any Sauvage at this point. Elixir is going to be the one that people think of first, probably because it's kind of one of the newest and it's really popular and all that stuff. But I'm actually going with Parfum. You don't really hear about this one all that much. In fact, it's kind of always been a little bit overshadowed by the EDT, the EDP, and now the Elixir. This one was kind of stuck in the middle where you just didn't really hear about it. I mean, even Sauvage Very Cool Spray seems like it got more talk than Sauvage Parfum, mainly because Very Cool Spray had that infinite spraying mechanism where you hold down on the button and it just will spray literally until it runs out. You know, you don't have to pump it, you don't have to shake it up or anything. It's pressurized and it's ready to just dispense until it runs out. So, and not to mention the EDT or Very Cool Spray actually smelled a bit different. It was actually more bergamot focused, more bright, more fresh, less overly ambroxany off the opening. So there was actually a differentiation in smell, and it was a true eau de toilette too. But getting off topic there, the Sauvage Parfum, you just don't hear about it. But nice orange focus and a lot of sandalwood. That's what they're doing, bringing in a nice smooth creamy orange with a woody soft sandalwood accord, and you're getting some other notes as well. A little bit of patchouli, a little bit of amber, that sort of thing. But it's getting far away from that bergamot, black pepper, ambroxan opening and getting into something that's smoother and actually a little bit more sweet. And the main thing is way more mature, way more refined, more sophisticated. You know, it's probably still not a black tie event type of scent. You know, there are better options, but it's definitely getting more so in that direction instead of just being straight up casual and, you know, youthful like the eau de toilette version is. But this one, very strong because it is a Parfum. You don't need a lot of this one to stand out and to get through the day. Just a couple sprays and you should be set for most instances, for most people's skin chemistry, but like always, that plays a big role too, and it's going to be different from person to person. So, you know, you got to kind of see what works for you. This next one from Mancera is Intense Cedrat Boise, clocking in usually right around $90 to $100 for 120 milliliters, 4 ounce. This is an extrait concentration and very, very strong. And, you know, realistically, you could probably throw in just about any Mancera. As crazy as it sounds, you could almost have them all laid out in front of you, close your eyes and just pick one, and chances are it would fit in this video because they're all, for the most part, with the exception of a few, very, very strong. You know, and I'm talking even the regular Cedrat Boise, Red Tobacco, Instant Crush, and then, you know, Oud Lemon Mint, and then there's quite a few more that I'm just missing. Eternal Wood and such like that are just so strong that you don't need a lot. For me, for my selection for this video, I wanted to stick with something that's going to be more usable, more wearable, and I think Intense Cedrat Boise is going to be about one of the most versatile ones that you can get. You know, something like, again, Tonka Cola is another one. Going to be more fall and winter oriented. This is kind of year round. It's a little bit fruity, but then it also has a woodiness and a little bit of a sweetness and maybe even just a little bit of a freshness. Where do you chalk this one up? You know, I would say probably the mid-range temperature zones, spring and fall, with, you know, the ability to wear it into winter time because it is very strong, and I guess maybe even on some summer days as well. It works for about anything. This is one of those niche fragrances that you could actually afford to make a signature scent if you wanted to, which is just not very common these days when you're paying, you know, $150, $200 sometimes for 50 ml bottle sizes. Let's go for another Dior. It is Fahrenheit Le Parfum, so kind of on that topic there, this is more expensive than Cedrat Boise Intense. Okay, this is 75 ml, $120, $115. I mean, you can see that the price per milliliter is drastically off in favor of the Mancera. That being said, this is still really good, and what this is doing is it's taking the Fahrenheit DNA, adding in some rum and some suede and leather, just so essentially giving it a booziness and a sweetness and more of a masculine leathery feel. You still get that fresh violet leaf. It's there. I mean, right off the cap here, not even atomizing it. It's just the dry down. You could smell it. But then not only that, a little bit of, I don't know if they list off vanilla or benzoin, one of the two, a little bit of like a powdery, creamy sweetness to go along with it. So that's kind of where this one sits. A sweeter, more refined take on Fahrenheit and just a more fall and winter appropriate version. And also a way better performing. You know, Fahrenheit, it's not really what I would consider to be a weak scent, but this one does perform way better because it is a parfum. It has those heavier, sweeter notes to give it more depth and richness to actually push out and last longer. So that's kind of where this one sits. It's expensive. We already talked about that. You don't need a lot of it, okay? 75 ml bottle will probably last you, I mean, several seasons, you know, several winter months easily, or winter seasons, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You get the idea. You don't need a lot of it, and it will go pretty far. Speaking of 50 ml for, you know, expensive amounts, is Kilian Intoxicated. There's a lot of niche that I've bought that, in my opinion, didn't really warrant the price. When it comes to the brand of Kilian, I don't think I've ever thought that really. And I have quite a few. They're directly behind me, right back there. Okay? And I bought those. I think they sent me, I don't even know, I think they sent me Angel Share, and then Apple Brandy on the Rocks. Basically those bottles here, the boozy looking bottles, they sent those out. When it comes to these bottles, I bought all these myself. So, you know, these weren't an investment. These are more expensive than the others there. And I have multiples of several, including this, Straight to Heaven, and I think those are the only two that I have backups of. I've got 3 of Straight to Heaven. Each version, the Extreme, the Oud Musk Special Blend, the original. I've got this one, Intoxicated, and then the silver bottle, Intoxicated as well, or the silver plaque. Anyway, just letting you know that I've invested my money into these because I believe in them, and I think they're really good. One of the brands that really lives up to the name. This one has coffee, cardamom, nutmeg, and cinnamon. This is right up my alley because I love coffee and I love cardamom. Now, in terms of real life, never really had cardamom. I'm just talking about the smell. But when it comes to coffee, very much a fan in real life. I love it every single day. And so to have something that is a very realistic and wearable coffee scent, I love it. This stuff is amazing. It's one of my favorites, and it's unlike any other coffee scent I've ever tried. Just so good, so delicious smelling. A great performer. You don't need a lot of it. A couple sprays and you're good to go. Jump over to a PDM. This is Habdan, coming in at 125 milliliters, 4.2 fluid ounce, and usually going to be, I don't know, somewhere around $200 to maybe $220 or so on a good day. And so this is better priced, right? This is a decently priced niche scent because you're getting a little bit more than average here for a price that is, you know, I mean, this is cheaper than the Kilian, for example, and it's a really good scent. Has apple, has caramel, has myrrh. So what does this smell like? To me, it legitimately smells like a caramel apple in fall. Like right now is the time to wear this one. Smells like going to, you know, like the apple orchard places that have, you know, the apple cider donuts and obviously the apples and all of this stuff, caramel apples and fall festivities. That's what this smells like legitimately, like very much so. It just smells like the season of autumn, and that's why I love it for right now. When we get into winter, I'm not touching this, and it's not because it can't work. It absolutely can. But it doesn't smell like winter. It smells like fall, so I keep it for that very specific time of year. But this is a very strong performer. Eau de Parfum, couple sprays, and you're set. We're gonna finish this video off with 2 fresh fragrances, okay? We've been going sweet through this video because most of us are in, you know, kind of getting into the winter flow, but a lot of you guys, you know, maybe you live somewhere where it doesn't get cold. Maybe you live on the opposite end of the world. So I wanted to throw in a couple fresh ones to end it. This one is Eros Energy, okay? Basically, their take on like a Mont Blanc Explorer / Aventus type of thing, the major twist being a crap ton of lemon and lime off the opening. Lemon, lime, and bergamot. Bright, fresh, sour, punchy off the opening. Almost in the realm of Pacific Chill. Now this, other than that little portion, this doesn't smell like Pacific Chill. But if you smell that, or if you smelled anything similar to it, very punchy, sour, vibrant, bright lime. And this has that off the opening. It was so unexpected for me, but it's there, and it is a statement maker. And this stuff, you really don't need a lot of it. It's an Eros. It's the freshest Eros yet by far, but yet they still have that signature good Eros performance. I mean, it's not quite as strong as like the Parfum or vintage EDT or something that, of course, is known for, but it's still above average performance for something in this category. One spray, a couple of sprays, and you're gonna be set up. And last up for this video, we have Bvlgari Aqua Marine. So it's technically discontinued at this point, as is all of the others, right? So that's just how this goes, I guess. But this one's gonna be one of the most realistic and just unique smelling aquatics that we've had from a designer brand. I want to be specific, from a designer brand. It's just such an oceanic smell. It's light, it's floral, it's fresh, it has that kind of sea saltiness. It smells like you're on the beach. It smells like everything to do with vacation. Not to mention, this kind of is the selling point for me, or it was back when I bought it first years ago, the bottle. Okay, I don't like the shape of these bottles because they're a pain to stack because they lay like this and they take up room, and other bottles trip over the top of them and fall, and these get lost and it looks like there's holes in your collection. But when we look at the color, man, look at it. Beautiful light blue. I love how the bottle looks. Just one of my favorite presentations. Again, aside from the annoyance of storing them, this is just, it's amazing looking. Get this while you can, because once they're gone, and they're going to be very expensive and hard to find. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some fragrances that you realistically only need a couple of sprays from to get good performance out of it. A lot of these even one spray. Hawas Black, Intense Cedrat Boise, even like Sauvage Parfum. Man, one spray and you're good, trust me, because I've worn these and I've over applied them and it's not fun, so be careful going into it. Now I'm gonna provide links to everything down below. That way you can get these at discounted prices below retail. Make it easy for you to shop. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.